Okay, so this is part two of manifestation, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky because um, manifestation seems like it, comes from out there somewhere. Seems like it comes from this abstract place. Not that we don't know that it's God, not any of that, but it just comes from this great unknown, which really is a great unknown. It's a mystery of mysteries. But one of the things that I want to try to do anyway is to demystify it a little bit so that we have a greater understanding of exactly the mechanics behind what it is that we're doing when we're trying to manifest something into our lives. Several years ago, probably like 10 years ago, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was something all over the news talking about the string theory. And it had something to do with stem cell research, and I don't remember that much about it because it never really got the press that it probably should have gotten because we stopped promoting stem cell research, at the time. But in any event, the string theory was saying that science finally felt like they had found evidence of God. And for those of us that, already are very familiar with God and His existence, and we already know it within inside of ourselves, I think that it's still notable that science is starting to come to the point where they are finding physical evidence of God. And basically what it was around this little cell was this it wasn't invisible, but was this energy that they had never seen before, and they couldn't understand where this energy was coming from. And that kind of leads me into quantum physics. Quantum physics basically is the concept of, and most scientific theorists agree with this, that quantum physics basically believes that all matter reduces to one single unifying field. So before there's anything, before there's a me or a you, before there's a dog or a cat, before there's a rock or a stick, there is one unifying field. And what's interesting about this unifying field is that it's a field of unlimited possibility. It's a field where all of creation stems from. It's a field that is never ending. It's a field that is completely creative in the sense that if it wants to create a rock, if it wants to create a tree, if it wants to create a person, all of it comes from this one unifying field. Spiritualists have said that this unifying field is the universe and holds a universal law, and that this is the area where we get as close to God as we possibly can, and that even quite possibly the unifying field is God, in the sense that it's all-knowing, it's omnipotent, it goes on, it's never-ending, it knows. Okay, now I'm getting off onto something a little bit different, but what's interesting about the unifying field is that when it does create something, it has a pre-sense of what it's going to create, and not only does it know what it's going to create, but it knows everything about what it's going to create, and it knows what it's going to create, what it's going to become. And so in that sense, the unifying field has very similar characteristics to what we call God. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Anyway, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is like quantum physics 101. And hopefully this will illustrate it. I'm going to try to do this real quick because I'm seeing that now that I'm doing these videos, I'm like running out of time real quick. But let's just say this is an electron, or it is an electron. And basically an electron is like, a magnet. And let's put this little arrow on top, and that means that's the direction that the magnet is going into. Now, if you put a magnetic field around this electron and you tell this electron, hey, I want you to come down here. Okay, I see this is going to jerk me up. I want you to come down here. This electron will flip over and go down there. Or if you tell this electron, I want you to stay up here, it'll flip over and it'll stay up there. And the interesting concept about this magnetic field is that the bigger the field is, the stronger the field is, the more energy the field has, the faster the electron does what the field wants it to do. Now, if we take this quantum physics 101 and say that this magnetic field is our intention and that this electron is the thing that we desire, the same concept holds true. So our intent is what dictates what we receive and how fast we receive it. It's very, very interesting to note that the quantum field has these characteristics. It's also very, very interesting that the degree of energy that's put on the electron creates the movement of the electron, and that the electron is basically a helpless entity in the sense that it can't do anything but what we desire it to do. The unifying field, or quantum field, develops everything that we know of in our current existence. So there really is no difference between iron, an ounce of iron, or an ounce of gold. The only difference is the way that the different molecules and chemicals decided to combine. And they decided to combine in a certain configuration, one way to make lead and another way to make gold. But they're basically made up of the same stuff. And now I'm seeing that this is a little bit complex, and I don't know that I'm going to have enough time even on the second video. But in any event, I just wanted to put the concept out there of the quantum field, and I wanted you to understand that A, we have to have faith, and B, the more faith we have and the more focus we have and the more intent we have, the better our results will be in terms of receiving the gifts of heaven and the things, the abundance that we wish for in our lives. And also, using that analogy with the electron, if you can imagine how counterproductive it would be if we said, okay, we want you to flip up, and then the next day we said, well, you're probably not going to flip up, so it would be okay if you kind of went to the left. And then the next day we said, well, even if you went to the left, I don't know if I'd really be happy with that, so maybe I don't want you at all. And then the fourth day we said, well, no, we really want you to flip up. So, you really want to remain consistent. You don't want to doubt. You want to have faith. You want to try to keep your focus on the positive and on the things that are positive about what it is that you desire. There's always a possibility that things will work themselves out a different way. That possibility is always there. But try to stay focused on the positive. So, the project for this week, the assignment, is to manifest something. And let's try with something easy. Let's try to manifest a parking spot. Wherever we go this week, we will visualize and have the intent to get a front row parking space everywhere we go this week. May seem kind of, impossible at this point, but think about it. See yourself pulling up in front of the establishment, see a parking spot, see someone pulling out just when you get there so you can pull in. See a space right in the front row, right next to the handicap spot. and go for it. Let's try it. Ciao.